Good morning, everyone. How are we? How was your weekend? Happy Monday! Happy Monday. I don't know why, but I feel like days don't exist to me these days. Like, what day is it? I don't know. I'm pulling away from all the systems that tell me what days of the week we're on or what time we should be doing things. I'm like, whatever. Just wanted to pop on here because it's been a hot minute. I've been busy. I've had my family staying and my daughter's come to stay with her new husband, and now I've had my brother staying. So we've been pretty busy as a family. When I say busy, I mean we've been doing family things, really cute. Like we've been making stock monkeys and we've been sitting by the fire. We've been having wholesome family meals and going on beautiful walks in enchanted forests and kind of like just, lovely life stuff, very grounding and enjoyable. And then come the evening, I have my nightly activity that we should by now, if you follow me, I don't mean that kind of nightly activity, clear your minds out. My subconscious connecting to divine. And it's been really taking me in some strange places recently. I mean, not that it doesn't normally, but it feels like I've been going to sleep and I've been waking up sort of on a rotational, just abruptly waking up and then realising that I'm still halfway between wherever I am. And I was even challenged on the fact that I always refer to it as up there and down here. And Spirit was like, that's just for you to have a comprehension of difference. But there is no up there and down here. It's just your mind is expanded in a different capacity. And I want you to get used to that. So there's this sort of like I'm in a training school, it feels like, at night time. Anyway, I've been going into a different realm. I've been in a different place, higher, whatever. It's not this way of thinking. It's not in these constraints of the structure of the way a physical being operates, should we say. So in these places, I've been just so aware that my spirit is this enormous, unrestrained, knowledgeable, aware of everything, consciousness. And I've spoken about that before. But during these times, I feel like I'm now trying to thread it back into the waking hours, more so than usual. And so I'm waking up with this awareness or this, that's outside of this structure, the matrix, however you want to define the structures and the principles of earthly realms. And then I'm trying to ask Spirit as I'm waking up, like, please help me remember how to bring that in. And last night I found myself, as I was kind of waking up, coming back into consciousness, I was saying, leave the light on, leave the door ajar. And Spirit was kind of laughing at me like, you're asking the right questions now. And I know my name, as I've said before, means 3-strand cord. And I've always had a picture that I'm binding heaven and earth. But now it's in this sleep realm, in the REM, whatever. I'm in this place where I am between these two realms. Like, I'm sure we all are, but it's how much of that do we remember? I'm so consciously aware that when I'm asleep or semi-conscious, that I'm not here and I'm off doing all these busy things and I'm learning things. Anyway, just wanted to share briefly what I saw last night, because Spirit says to me, this is what I'm going to be teaching you this year. And it felt like if I understand this principle, it will be life-changing. And it almost felt like I tapped into a secret pool of knowledge that was almost like I needed to only share it with those that are going to use it wisely. So I just ask that if you receive this knowledge, you use it wisely, or those that aren't supposed to have it won't hear it. But it started with a picture of a round circle, and it was like a drawing on a piece of paper. It was just a round circle, and it was very two-dimensional. It was just flat, drawn on a round slice, like my tattoo, I guess. Just a round circle had been drawn on this piece of paper. And Spirit said to me, what dimension is that? And I was like, well, it looks like it's just a drawing. And then he said, what about if I do this? Now, coming from like an artistic background, we know that we can make two-dimensional drawings appear three-dimensional. So I found myself shading like the darker inside edges of this circle and lighter over here in this kind of highlighted area. And then when I stepped back and I looked at it, it looked three-dimensional. And the key was looked. So then it turned, it was still exactly the same thing. And you know, these graffiti artists, they draw on the tarmac and they make it look like there's a pit in the earth or there's steps going down, but it's just a flat piece of concrete. But the illusion is that it becomes like a three-dimensional kind of object. And this was the thing. Like, so with a bit of shading, this round circle became a sphere. And I was like, what is the lesson here? And then Spirit said, now I want you to come and look at it from up here. And I travelled up above the sphere, which was now a three-dimensional, or appeared that it was a three-dimensional object. And I went up above it and I looked down, expecting to see, again, because I'm just looking at it from a different perspective, expecting to see the top of the sphere. And I saw absolutely nothing. And I was like, what? Why am I not seeing anything? And this was the lesson. I did it a few times. I saw a square, and then I saw the way that you can draw a three-dimensional, so it became a cube. And then Spirit would take me up above the cube, so let's say we're here, and took me up here, and I looked down, and there was absolutely nothing to see. It was like, it just wasn't there, it didn't exist. And Spirit said to me, it's really important that you start to remember or retrain your thinking that everything that you see is just an illusion, whether you believe it to be 3D and solid matter, or whether you believe it to be 2D, or whether you believe it to exist at all. All of the things that you see around you are energy. And he said, and this lesson moving forward, he said, right, now you're above, this is how it went, now you're above this sphere. You can't see it with your eyes, but you know it's there. So when I would come back down, I'd be like, well, there it is. But when I came up, it wasn't there. And Spirit said, but you can feel the energy of that. You know it exists. Almost like they talk about UFOs, like they have this translucency that maybe from a certain angle, you can see like it looks metallic. But then if you go in a different place, that it can be sort of invisible. It's translucent. But the energy of this sphere, because of my awareness that it existed, I could feel the sphere. And Spirit said to me, I'm going to teach you to recognize that, so he said, faith is seeing, no, it's believing without seeing. But many people have to see to believe. But I'm going to teach you to become so sensitive to energy that you feel it and you know it exists, far beyond you see the reality of it as a three-dimensional matter. It was to me, it feels like the manifestation technique of believing and feeling so confident in the energetic field that something exists long before you see it. And Spirit said, this is something that I've been training you for. When I give you prophecies or I give you visions of the future, you act on that as if it's already happening, you know, because there's moments where I'm like, why am I so confident of X, Y, and Z? It's because I've seen it and I've felt it within the core of my being that I know that energy exists. So therefore now all I have to do is to wait for it to manifest. I think I've spoken to you before about when I saw a white car, 7-seater, I saw all the things of this car didn't exist in my reality, but we needed a new car, and I saw it in the heavenly realms or a different realm, and I pulled it out, and then a few days later it manifested in my reality. And this is where we're moving forward, that we can create our reality by understanding energy and feeling energy and feeling into what we want and believing it's there before we see it. So seeing is not believing, believing is seeing. And I'll leave that with you. What do you think?